So the radius of this circle is 12. So that means our area is equal to pi times 12 squared. So when we type that in our calculators, we should get approximately 452.4 inches squared. Anybody else get that answer? Any questions about how to type that in the calculator? All right, number 2 is a little different because they give us the area and they want us to find the diameter. That's a different question. But we're still going to start with our area formula. Area equals pi r squared. Now in place of A, which is area, I want you to put 36 pi. So 36 pi equals pi r squared. So we're going to start by dividing both sides by pi. So if you take in your calculator, if you take 36 pi divided by pi, you're going to just get 36. 36 equals r squared. All right, how do we get rid of that square? What do you have to do to get rid of a square? Take the how do you get rid of this? What's the opposite of squaring a number? Take the square root, yep. So in your calculator, go ahead and take the square root of 36. Who got 6? All right, but that's the radius. Diameter equals 2 times the radius. So to find our diameter, I have to take 2 times 6. Which is 12. And this will be our final answer. All right, so our last formula, and I did make copies of we have 5 formulas. So now we're going to talk about the formula on the pink. So if you're over there, you can see it on that board also. Area of a sector. So to find area of a sector, go to page 11 in your packet. Area of a sector, you need to know 2 things. It's instead of asking for the whole area, we're asking for the area of a slice of the circle or a piece of the circle. Okay? So in order to find that, we need to know 2 things. I need to know the angle. So I need to know x, which is the angle of the slice. Okay, we know that the whole circle is 360 degrees. But whatever slice I'm trying to find the area of, I need to know the angle of that slice. But instead of calling it a slice, we call it a sector. And we need to know the radius. And this is your formula. It's x over 360 equals pi r squared. So we're on page 11. And we're almost finished, so we're at the back. I think this is the last page. Is it the last page? Almost the last page, if it's not the last page. So this was a very, very, very short unit. Today is the last day. We'll be finished with our packets today. I'll probably pass out the study guide today. You'll have tomorrow during class to work on the study guide. Wednesday, I'll answer questions over the study guide, and Thursday, you'll take a quiz. Okay? All right, so let's get started. So let's find the area of this sector. So the first thing, so this is the sector that I want to know the area of. So I don't want to know the area of the whole circle. I only want to know the area of this orange slice. So what's the angle of this orange slice? 150. So we're going to take, so the area of the sector is going to be 150 over 360. And we're going to multiply that by pi. What's the radius of the circle? What did it say the radius was? Yep, so 2 squared. So you're going to type this in your calculator just like that. Use the fraction button, type in 150 over 360, and then multiply that answer by pi r squared. So this is kind of tricky to type in. So go ahead, type this in your calculator. And then hit the button above it to get the decimal. You should get 5 point something. Yep, good, that's it. And the unit would be yards squared. That's the area of just that orange slice. Try to do this next one by yourself. So I want to find the area of this slice, just this little piece right here. So use that formula to find the area of that slice. So it's the angle over 360 times pi r squared. Who got 14.1? Good. All right. And that would be your answer. Okay. So now it says Malaya is playing a game where she must track her progress using sectors of a circle on a circular game piece. The game piece has a diameter. So underline where it says diameter of 3.5. And it's divided into 6 congruent. Remember, the word congruent means equal. What's the area of one sector? So the first thing we need to do, step number 1, would be to find the area of the whole circle, of the whole game piece. That's our first step. Find the area of the whole game piece. And to find area of a circle, area equals pi r squared. But they didn't give us the radius, they gave us the diameter. So diameter, or radius, equals diameter divided by 2. So we need to find the radius. So we're going to take that 3.5. And I want you to divide that by 2 to get the radius. You should get 1.75. Who got 1.75 for the radius? Okay, good. So we know R is 1.75. So now that we know that, we can find the area. Area equals pi times the radius squared. So type that in your calculator. Okay, so we got that the area of the whole game piece is 9.6. So who got 9.6? So because they're divided, so step number 2 would be to find the area of each piece. The area of each piece. So as you can see, because they're all equal and there's 6 pieces, we're just going to take the total area and divide that by the number of pieces. That's how we're going to find the area of each piece. So that would be 9.6 divided by 6, because there's 6 pieces. So in your calculator, take 9.6 and divide that by 6, and you should get 1.6 centimeters squared, and that will be your final answer. So whenever they're equal, meaning that each piece is the same size, we can just divide the total area by however many pieces we had. Any questions about number 2 or number, whatever number this is? I don't even know. All right. So this one says Jory is crafting a wall clock using paint and a set of battery operated clock hands. The clock has a diameter of 3. So this is just like the last one. We got to find the area of each sector. How many sectors are on this clock though? 12. Does everyone see that? If you look here, do you see how there's 12? We count up to 12 and all 12 are equal. So step number 1, find total area. And then step number 2 is divide that by 12. So let's find our total area. So we have our diameter. So that means that the radius is going to equal diameter divided by 2. Or 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5 feet. So when we find our area is going to equal pi times 1.5 squared. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. And it said to the nearest hundred, so we're going to put 2 numbers after the decimal. So that would be 7.07 feet squared. And then your second step is going to be to divide that area that we got in part 1 by 12. So I got 0.59 feet squared. Who had that answer? So I had to divide it by 12 because there were 12 sectors. The last one, if you go back to this one, this had only 6. See, there were 6, so we had to divide it by 6. But this one, there's 12. So I guess I should write it in this little box. 0.59. All right, we on the back, y'all. Let's finish this out. Okay. So this one is a little different because it told us that one sector of the circle, so they gave us the area of the sector, and they said that the area of the sector is 42 square yards. The arc measure is 45. Find the area of the circle. All right, so if I know that the sector, so we know the area of the circle, which is A. So A is 42. And then the angle measure is 45 over 360. And we need to find the radius. So in your calculator, let's figure out what 45 divided by 360 is. So we're going to figure out what this number is. So kind of condense that side down, because right now there's a lot happening over there. So then that would give me 42 equals 0.125 pi, and then it's r squared. I know somebody's music is super loud. Is that yours? Whose is it? Is it your headphones, Cortez? Are they on? There you go. Okay. All right. So now we need to get rid of this number. So this number right here. So all of these numbers are being multiplied. So the easiest way to do that would just be to divide. So I want you to divide. I want you to type in your calculator. I'm going to come over here because I wrote kind of big. I want you to divide in your calculator 42, and I want you to divide that by 0.125 pi. So in your calculator, hit the fraction button and put 42 divided by 0.125 and hit the pi button. Does everyone calculator, when you hit the fraction button, does it pull up a fraction? Yours didn't? I need to change the mode. Oh, yeah, it did. It pulled up a fraction. But you got to put in 0.125 pi. So you got to divide it by 42 divided by 1.25 by pi. Yeah, you should get 106 point, it's really 107. Who got 107? Okay, so 107 equals r squared. So now take the square root of 107. And if you hit the button above, you should get that the radius is about 10.3. That's your radius. And now that you know your radius, you can do the second part, which is finding the area. Area is going to equal pi times the radius squared. So we had to figure out what the radius was in order to find the area. So go ahead and type that in. That's a lot of 3s. And that would be your final answer. Now this last question I added because it's a test question. And I just changed our numbers around. But I wanted us to see it before Thursday. Because it's asking us to find circumference and area. So it says, Mr. BB is planning to build a circular patio this summer that has a radius of 10. So radius is 10. It says he would like to put trim around the patio. What is the circumference? So circumference of a circle equals 2 pi r. And what did they say? What's the radius of the patio? 10. So in your calculator, you're going to type in circumference equals 2 times pi times 10. So let's go ahead, type that in. And you should get, yeah, about 63. It said round to the nearest tenth. So 62.8, and it would be feet. And now find your area. To find area, that would be pi r squared. So area equals pi times 10 squared. Go ahead, type that in. And you should get 314.2 feet squared. All right, so for the rest of the class, I am giving extra credit for homework 2 today. And I'm going to pass out your study guide. So you can work on homework 2, or you can use this time to finish out your homework. You do have a quiz this Thursday. So you have your completed note packet so you can start preparing for the quiz. It is a short quiz. I think it's just 5 questions. So